stay there. You guys stay there and button your lip. You cannot say anything, no matter what people say. If they say they don't like the way you look and your hair's, you say nothing. You just take the pickups. Okay, first, criticisms from the audience. What didn't you like?
Every time you guys started getting a groove, you changed the beat.
Yeah, somebody would kind of go off the beat or something, yeah. Okay? What else?
Till the end, Paul and Steve sort of were a lot louder.
Yeah. And there was I felt a tug of war between them occasionally.
And then right at the end, it sort of evened out.
Yeah.
Really got into.
When did it even out the best?
When they realized they could accept silence.
Steve felt compelled to play through the whole thing. And everybody had trouble locking in because he's not the rhythmically strongest person there. And freakily, the other three people are much more rhythmically strong. So insecurity comes out sometimes by just you're doing something and you're afraid to stop doing it, and it doesn't matter whether you're screwing everybody up and the place is burning down. I take an acid, it looks interesting. Right? You ever been to parties like that? Okay, so the thing is, stop! What happened when he stopped? The instant he stopped, the other three people who were stronger rhythmically got the groove, and poor Paul was wrestling with it the most. I think he tried to get a lot of I-messages.
Well, in the very beginning, though, Shannon was holding the bass line together.
Yeah, he was holding it
In
together.
the very beginning, Shannon was trying to pass it off or give it, share it around, and he couldn't.
Yeah,
he stuck in it.
Yeah.
He couldn't.
That's another thing. When someone is constantly playing all the time, it's hard for you to
And
get
then I
it
saw
out
him
of the
get
piece.
softer and softer, and finally they had their own deal. But Danny, I don't even know what you were doing. You're like, what were you doing? What was your instinct?
His instrument wasn't loud enough, part of it.
Yeah, the problem is, the double clicker.
He was a chiquita.
I have a problem getting a solid thing on this thing.
Okay, what else? Any other criticisms? What about volume control?
They were pretty monotone.
Pretty monotone. Near the end, they tried and they got some things going there. And as a matter of fact, but when they got softer and softer, that was a clue for everybody to drop out. When everybody forgot the beat, they were smart enough to just stop. Did you also notice that there was another time in there where they tried to stop but couldn't?
No, we didn't.
Yeah, at one point you almost stopped and then it started going again. You stab the patient and then they get up and start walking around. And you ever seen one of those horror movies where they're trying to kill the guy?
No, he's not doing
They have to kill him 8 times, So sometimes less is more. It's best to know when something's dying out or petering out. What about, did they ever have a situation where there was only one of them playing and the others are kind of listening and grooving with it? Almost never. Most of the time there were 2 or 3 always playing. So don't be afraid to back off and just let one person who's grooving with it and then add your thing on top. And we call that an elision, where somebody starts something and then later someone comes in and then later someone comes in, so you don't come in all at once. And then people drop out in sections. So the thing, it's like thickening the soup and then thinning it out again. And thickening, you keep adding water and boiling it until you get just that right consistency. So don't be afraid to come in and out of the piece. Don't be afraid to experiment with volume. What else?
I think a really good way to think of the soup is imitation.
Imitation, exactly. Now
Just to follow along, you don't always have to have.
that's right. Don't have to have your own creative idea.
I heard
Yeah.
some of an imitation.
Yeah, actually what happens, another way of ending a piece is somebody's got a really good groove and they won't let go of it, and so the other people just start imitating them until everybody's doing it. Then they're all doing one rhythm that's called coming in sync, and then they usually get loud, soft, or stop. And if you do that, then that's another brilliant ending, because if everyone starts to play the same thing, and it gets louder and louder, and then they just stop, well, that's just great for the audience. All right, now, tell me the good things. What were the good things?
Lots of eye contact.
Lots of eye contact, and I've never seen a group struggle so hard to see each other even though they're right in front of each other. And Danny and Paul particularly were really trying to pull the other guys in, and Paul almost fell down at one point. He was leaning so far forward. I thought Danny's eyes were going to pop. I was expecting little lights to go across. Like, he needs help. What else did they do that was good?
Well, they got into it right at the end.
Yeah, they got it. When they found the groove, they went with it, right? as soon as Steve dropped out, then they really got a groove going, and then Steve was able to come back in without interfering and do his own thing. So again, don't be afraid not to play. Sometimes not playing is giving strength to that room. Okay? Thank you, everybody. 4 more people, 4 more victims. I'm going to give this a try. Same rules apply. You guys do whatever you want to do. Develop it. Bring it to an end if you can. Remember what we just talked about, the good things, the bad things, and try not to do the bad things that people did, and pick up on the good things they did. Another thing we forgot to mention was balance. Some people have loud instruments, some people have soft instruments. So you guys with loud instruments have got to get soft for the people with softer instruments. You people with softer instruments have to play with conviction. You can't take your little tiny, orange peel and keep getting smoked till nobody can play. So that's not, So if you've got an instrument that doesn't have much volume, really play out, okay? Make a commitment. And if you have a loud instrument, look for balance here, okay? All right, and you're the leader. Don't be afraid to stand this way. Raise your body. Say your name so that new people here know who you are.
I'm Noel.
Noel.
I'm Richard.
Mary. Yeah.
Okay, so first, what do you think that they did wrong?
They're having they were struggling with data because they were up in the head.
In the very beginning, yes.
It was like they were concentrating on everything that you said, not to do.
Right. Well, you gotta try it out, You gotta try those things out, yeah.
But to me, when I've heard drummers and drummer groups throughout the group, it seems like there is a chaos in the beginning.
Yes.
Until there is a tone that's heard by all of them, and then they can all come in and concatenate or go off together playing beautiful music. But I found it's always kind of the chaos in the beginning.
She tried to establish a very simple pulse, but then what happened is when Richard came in, he wasn't quite grooving with it, so his thing was kind of bouncing around somewhere, so it was harder for Mary and Noel to kind of get in there.
I was waiting for Richard to catch her beat.
Right,
So she was giving a da-da-da-da-da.
right.
And boom. And he was catching that for a little bit, and then he changed the...
It took him a while to notice, but what did he do when he noticed? What was the good thing he did when he noticed?
Lay go.
He stopped, yes. And then what he did is he listened to everybody else for a while, and then what happened, an interesting thing is, the beat actually started to fade, and by that time he had a really solid, good idea. And he came in and he just laid that down and pulled the whole thing together. So, congratulations. He screwed it up at the very beginning, laid out, got it into his body, came in, and was a savior in the end. That's all, you know. Start good, end good, and let the middle work itself out.